We bring you Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys.
Now, obviously, the game was wildly different in the fourth quarter as opposed to the first three. Do you get the sense that that's going to be the case for most of the season, or do you see the fourth quarter as this is the team we can be versus the first three quarters is maybe where we're at right now?
Well, hopefully, you obviously we believe that our team can play like we played in the fourth quarter consistently. That's what we got to get to. We've been through, a rough patch there for 7 quarters and haven't played well, and especially, the defensive side of the ball. But some of that comes with a new scheme, a new coordinator, and obviously we got off to a good start in Cleveland, but we played 2 really good football teams that run the ball really well, and certainly is something where we've got to continue to improve if we want to be the team we want to be.
Jerry said last night he likes the personnel of this team. I'm guessing you do as well. How long do you usually go into a season before you might revisit that? I'm sure 3 games is too soon, but where would you get in the season where you'd be like, maybe we're off about this?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is obviously people want to point at, and I'll go right to it, our running game. But when you get behind like we've got in the last 2 games, it's hard to really evaluate a running game when you're down 2 scores, 2+ scores most of the game. And, obviously you get into a mode where you're having to hurry up and, throw the ball, and you don't really get to evaluate what you have. I think we're blocking it up good. I think when we do run, I think yesterday Rico ran for 4 yards a carry. So, we just got to get our team in situations where, we're not, fighting from behind like we have been the last 2 weeks.
Well, on the other side, though, that part of trying to, not be behind the defensive front, the personnel there, do you feel comfortable with what that personnel is at the moment, your defensive tackles and ends?
I think we can get better, obviously. We brought in 3 veteran guys now, to try to shore up the inside part of our defense. And certainly with Joseph and Phillips, and, we're obviously trying to improve there, but I do think we'll get better.
McCarthy said that this team is going through growing pains. And do you have faith that he can guide this team through those pains right this season?
Absolutely. That's why we hired Mike in the first place. He's got a resume that shows that he gets the job done as a head coach. And Mike's coached, championship caliber teams. He's won Super Bowls. He's been in several championship games and feel like he can get the job done for us.
Are you patient then with the idea that this team is a work in progress, or is there a different urgency for you?
No, I think you do got to. I mean, as you start to go through the season, you want to get better, and certainly we had a good start in Cleveland, but then unfortunately we've had 2 games that we didn't. We're not playing winning football right now, and I do think you got to give both the Ravens and the Saints credit. They're 2 of the better rushing football teams in this league, and we've just got to continue, and I know Zim will continue to get our defense to where we execute on the scheme we're trying to execute on, and, obviously get to a point where we can win these football games.
One of the things that was circulating after the game yesterday was Jerry talking about how the team couldn't afford Derrick Henry. Do you think that is an accurate way to put it, or would you say like maybe the team doesn't value running back at paying out $9 million guaranteed?
No, I think, at the end of the day, and you saw what we ended up having to pay Dak and CD, and obviously we're wanting to get Micah under contract long term. Could you afford him for the year and then have a major cap hit that you wouldn't be able to sign somebody like Micah? So yeah, you've got to pick and choose where you're gonna emphasize and where you're gonna put your cap resources. And certainly we've done that with Dak and CD and Zach Martin, and obviously on the other side of the ball, Diggs. And, you can only pay so many of those guys, and it's real. I know everybody wants to say, well, you could push something out, but at some point as you push out, you're going to have to then make a hard decision on somebody like a Micah. And, I guess to some degree you're accurate. Yes, we're going to emphasize probably pass rushers and the guys up front, the guys who make plays outside with CD, the guys who get the ball like the corners like Diggs. We do have to pick and choose where our priorities are.
On the sideline, Micah was going back and forth a little with DeMarcus. CD's going back and forth a little with Dak. What's your assessment of that, and how do you feel about those kind of interactions on the sideline?
I think that's part of it. I mean, these are competitive guys. These are guys who are used to winning. I mean, we've had 3 years in a row where we've won 12 football games and gotten off to good starts, and obviously getting off to a bumpy start here, there's going to be frustration. There's going to be emotion, and you want to see that. You don't want to see them with their head in the towel and not caring. And so that's just part of it. When you're off to a tough start like we have the last 2 weeks, and you get down, there's going to be frustration and there's going to be emotion, and that's part of it. That's what competitors do. They compete, and obviously when things aren't going perfect, you're going to have that's part of being a competitor. Some of it comes out.
And I know y'all are on the field, but I have no doubt you're a competitor as well. Do you feel that same way? Is there discussions or like heated interactions around the star as well after that, because you feel that competitive vibe too?
Oh, absolutely. You can imagine. I mean, I'm sure picture paints 1,000 words when that camera flashes up to Jerry, and it's definitely something that is very competitive inside of us. And obviously we've had a lot of good things happen for this franchise, but the one thing that hadn't happened, and certainly is a spur or a thorn in Jerry's heel, if you will, is not being able to win a championship in such a long period of time. And no one wants to win, I can assure you, more than Jerry and myself. And everybody's out there competing right now. Obviously, this is we're going through a rough patch as we convert to a new defensive scheme and coordinator, and we just got to continue to go to work every day. I think our team's made up of the right kind of guys. I think they're going to compete their ass off, if you will, and I know we're looking for ways to improve this team as well. But this late in the season, once you get your team, there's not a lot of things you can do out there, sort of some sort of trade. But I believe in this group, and we believe this group can get it done. I thought it was great the way they battled back. It shows a lot about this football team. You see a lot of teams that just go ahead and mail it in when you're having that type of day through 3 quarters. And I thought our guys battled back, showed the right type of mental toughness to compete. And I think we'll continue to work going forward. I mean, obviously, I can tell you this team right now is not looking past anything. And certainly, going in to play the Giants in New York, they're kind of finding their path now. They had a big game yesterday, and we've got our work cut out for us.
You were talking about how obviously the NFL trade deadline is usually not as busy as other major sports, but do you believe that you guys have the potential assets or salary cap space that you could do something if you wanted? I know you said you like this group, but do you feel like you have the assets where you could make a move if you wanted?
Every situation's different, and it's just could we take advantage of an opportunity if we felt like the situation that was there? Absolutely, we can. Obviously, the cap's a lot more than just about this year, but where our pressure starts to hit is going forward. As we try to have 3 players the caliber of Dak and CD and Micah, that's where the pressure goes. So, each situation's different. It could be, you make a trade for a guy who's on a one-year deal, and you don't have the issues that come with the cap hits going forward. So all these things are things that we'll measure, we'll look at, and if we feel like there's a situation out there that improves us and makes us better, we'd certainly do something like that.
I love the insight that you can give us on the cap. I'm curious. I'm hoping you can help, hopefully even educate me on this. Micah Parsons, it looks like his cap hit with a club option next year is about to be 21.3, give or take. And I know that he's going to cost more than that in terms of average per year, but because of the way y'all structure contracts, won't his number actually be lower next year on the cap? So when you talk about like, hey, we got some guys we got to pay, isn't Micah's number probable to go down next year once you get a long-term deal going with him?
Yeah, we certainly need that to happen. Obviously, we're taking advantage of that with CD and Dak this year. CD's number ended up being less than it was counting because of his tender, just like you mentioned about Micah. But at some point, all these numbers come home to roost. One thing that's unique is Dak's one of the few quarterbacks in this league that's on his second big contract with the same team, and we're still paying $45 million from the old contract that's due over the next 3 years that we pushed out. So, all these things are things that no one wants to hear about. There are problems, and we've got to deal with them, and we're doing the very best we can. Obviously, we are a team that really counts on drafting and developing players, and we're not a big player in free agency, but and we certainly understand when things aren't going well, like is the case right now. You drop 2 games at home when you're used to consistently winning at home, and everybody's going to question your mechanics and your process. So we understand that. We believe in what we're doing. We believe in this football team, this coaching staff, and believe we'll right the ship.
I really appreciate that answer, especially since you set up potentially my next question about questioning the mechanics of it all. You talk a lot about how the Cowboys have won 12 regular season games 3 straight years, while also you're trying to correct your cap problems. If you feel like you're that close, would you not maybe kind of burn future years of the cap a little bit more, thinking, hey, we keep winning 12 games, we keep being in the playoffs, why not kind of like actually push all in with the cap and maybe risk those next couple of years?
Well, it goes to giving up on somebody like Micah, to where you have to move on from him. If you want to push it all out there, then you won't have the resources to pay a player like Micah, pay a player like Tyler Smith, and that's in the eye of the beholder. Totally understand what you're saying in terms of pushing it all out, but at some point you do pay the price, and it's not always the right answer to go out and pay a big free agent. They don't always perform to the dollars. So we totally understand it. Understand that people are going to have differing opinions, especially when we're had 2 tough games in a row at home, when we're have been consistently winning at home. But we certainly understand there's going to be frustration, and but at the end of the day, we believe in our process. We believe in this football team. We believe in this coaching staff. And like I said, we believe we're going to right the ship.
Appreciate the time, good sir, especially the insight on the cap stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. Stephen Jones right here on 105.3 The Fan.